Hello everyone. Welcome to Ed Talk TV, Conversations Worth Having. I hope you are having a fantastic day. I'm going to go ahead and share this out on my personal profile. Normally I do this prior, but Facebook has just been having some real struggles the last couple days. I mean, we know it's been going on for a little while now, but I feel like the last few days have been like really bad. How many of you guys have been experiencing that where with Facebook, it's just like, comments aren't showing up, notifications aren't working. Messenger today, I went to messenger.com and I couldn't actually, I searched for who I wanted to connect with and tried to tap on their name, wouldn't do anything. So I had to go back to facebook.com and do the thing. It's just, there's a whole mess going on. I think it's just that tech life this time around. For everyone. So I'm going to pop in the comments your start here for those who are new. Checkwithed.com is where you'll want to go later, not now. If this is your first time joining, welcome. Be sure to say hello in the comments, even if you're watching the replay. I watch out for you replay viewers. So this is a business talk show. We talk about business, tech, and the user experience. We are going to talk today about 4 things that you can do right now regarding the new GDPR rules. I will put out a disclaimer throughout this broadcast. I am not a lawyer. Please check with your legal team / legal advisor / anybody else. I'm just going to share with you information that I have found and some resources regarding this. You probably are all like tapped out on hearing all of this because it's literally blowing up the news feed and emails everywhere. So hopefully I'll be able to keep it short and fun and like, here's your bullet point list, go out and do that. So there's that. Feel free to tag somebody that you know could use this, share it out with everyone. Before we do that, we're going to get into random news. So we'll talk about a couple random things, and then we'll jump into today's content. Checkwithed.com is where you'll want to go later. That has all your resources. And actually, to help with today's topic, I'm actually going to be breaking a few things down and showing you visuals. So I know a lot of you will be listening to this. Normally you like to listen to it just the audio because you're cooking, cleaning, driving the kids, whatever. Be sure to watch this episode because I'm going to be turning over to my website in a little bit during this broadcast to show you examples. Hey Chrissy, welcome. I'm going to be showing you real examples of what I've done and to give you guys ideas on what you can do just to protect yourself. Again, I am not a lawyer. This is all stuff that I'm just taking what I've learned and I'm sharing them out with you. It's up to you to then go ahead and do your research and connect with your legal team. Even if you're just a one-man, one-woman shop, you still want to reference that. And then I also have resources for you that will help you, including a template that I did not create. It's actually a lawyer that I work with. She created a template, so I'll be sure to share that with you guys. That way you'll have it if you need one that helps with your privacy policy and compliant with the GDPR. So there's all that info. Let's jump into a random news today. Did you know, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you guys can see this. Did you know Instagram is going to be rolling out here soon in the next couple weeks the new mute feature? Yeah, so we've kind of had it on Facebook, and I don't know how many of you guys actually used that feature. It's more like snooze on Facebook. So on Facebook it's snooze. On Instagram, who's owned by Facebook, they're going to have now mute. So that's going to be coming up. It's not on my account yet, so you might not have it either. It's one of those things that's still rolling out, so keep that in mind. But it will be interesting. You'll be able to mute people. You can always turn them back on. There'll be an option to turn them back on. And of course, if you go directly to their profiles, you'll still be able to see their info as well. It just, they won't show up in your feed there. So that's something that's coming out for Instagram. How many of you guys use Slack? Are any of you guys Slack users? I will say I have it and I have used it. I'm not 100% in love with Slack, maybe just because I don't use it enough, but I know that a lot of people use Slack. They enjoy it. And just like any company, we see it with Facebook, we see it with all these other companies as well. Just like any company, they don't want you to leave their app. Hey, Joanne. So what they want is to keep people on their platform longer, which they're working on having deeper integration and make it easier so that you can create more tasks within, things like Asana and other softwares that you're probably using, but instead of having to leave the app and go somewhere else and then come back. Oh, Chrissy, you haven't heard of Slack? Yeah, Slack is really big here in the US. And for those who don't know, Chrissy's in the UK. Slack is very big here, and it's basically like, think of, I don't know, Messenger, Facebook Messenger on steroids, maybe. It's very similar. It's just more. You can create channels and groups and things like that. It's really can be a productive way to communicate with people within your company. So large companies use this, and now they're wanting to tie in more apps, more software, so that you don't have to leave the platform. The only downside, can you guys guess what the downside would be in terms of relying on one platform for everything? Yeah, the downside would be the fact that what happens when something happens to it? When there's an outage. We've seen that with Twitter. We've seen that with Facebook. It's one of those things that it's a great idea, and yes, we should want everything in one spot, right? Because then it's more convenient. But then what happens when something happens? When something goes down, everything's down. A lot of us maybe rely on Facebook Messenger to keep in contact with people, whether it's business or personal. Well, when Facebook Messenger goes down, because it has issues, it will definitely be an inconvenience for you, which therefore you are going to be, kind of stuck trying to figure out where to go and what to do. So it's one of those things that it's great, but we also have to make sure we have a backup plan. So that's what Slack's working on if you use Slack. And then get this. So how many of you have kids at home? And I know some of you guys have really young kids. Do any of you guys have older kids? Like 20s, maybe 30s? Well, in New York, a family, parents of this young child, who is not really a child, he's 30, the parents are suing their 30-year-old son because he won't leave the house. They've apparently sent him 5 notices over the past few months telling him he needs to leave, and he still won't leave. And their reason is he is not helping out with the bills, and he doesn't do anything around the house. I'm going to just say right now, if that's the case, there is something really, really wrong, and I don't even know what would you put on the dating profile at that point. And how weird is that your parents are suing you for not leaving the house? Like, that's just really odd. I don't know. Really, really odd. Chrissy says my eldest ones are 30 and 18. Oh, well, there you go, Chrissy. Would you sue your 30-year-old if they didn't leave the house when you asked them to over 5 times? It's really, really strange. I will say that here's an interesting take, and I don't know, you guys tell me, even if you're watching the replay. I feel like these days, and this is at least in California, because California is super expensive, but I feel like these days, more and more people stay at home / have more people under one roof because it's so expensive. Like, it's ridiculous what the cost of living is in places like California, New York, and other places around the country when you're hardly home or when you're in and out. So, especially if he's in New York, I mean, I can kind of get it. Like, if you wanted to chill at the house, cool, but you need to pay some bills. You need to be helping out, right? I mean, you got to work for it still. It's not like it's a free ride all over. Chrissy says no, but she doesn't live with me anymore. See, there you go. There you go. So that's your random news. Shout outs to all the parents there that have to put up with us kids, good and bad, right? So that's today's random news. Now let's jump into today's content, which is going to be the top 4 things that you can do right now to help you out with this new GDPR rule stuff. Again, I am not a lawyer. I'm just breaking down what I have heard, what I've learned, and I'm providing you with the resources so then you can go through and see what works for you and check in with people who have the legal advice, the background there for you. So, couple things, and this is kind of just a bulleted list that we'll run through, and I'm going to show you what I've done on my website, so that way you get a visual of what you could do. And some of this may be a little extra, but I'd rather be a little extra than not. So let's jump into it. Today might be a super short episode, and that's all right for it. Chrissy says it comes in here on Friday. Is it the same for you? It will be available. Chrissy's referring to the date. So it's May 25th. It goes into effect. And I just want to see what day. Yeah, Friday. Yeah, same, Chrissy. Friday the 25th. So if you guys aren't familiar, basically anytime you have anywhere you're collecting email addresses for that email list, that freebie, whatever, you need to update your policies, and you need to make them what's called GDPR relevant, basically meaning that you have to comply, and it all has to go down by this Friday. So if you're watching this on Thursday night, May 25th is the day that everything goes into effect. And so basically these are 4 hit items that you can run through given what I've researched and what I found. So we'll run through that. I have a template that I will pop into the comments right now. It's not mine, but it's one that I'm using that I got from my lawyer. So I will share that with you. I will also make note, this is an affiliate link. Let me make sure I spell that right. Just so that way you guys are aware that it's an affiliate link. So there's that for you. Again, that is something that I'm using on my websites, though, just so you know I'm using it, and I love it. So let's run through the 4 tips, the 4 things that you can do right now. Number 1 is update your privacy policy. If you don't have one, or you're kind of like, well, I sort of think I put together something, take a look at that template. That template is exactly what you're going to need. That's what I have on my website. Let me go ahead and show you the screen real quick, what that looks like. So that template I just put in there. Oh, good question, Chrissy. Would this be for US or good for UK too? I believe it's good for everyone. Let me go ahead and see if I can text my lawyer real quick. Give me 1 second and let me ask while you guys are looking at the screen here. I know it's like super quiet all of a sudden. Oh my goodness. See, Messenger is having some. There we go. Can you guys hear my dog snoring? I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's so funny. Okay, so I will let you know, Chrissy, on that. If I don't get a response during the broadcast, I will let you guys know in the comments as well as in the Hey Ed community. For those who are new, Hey Ed is a business and tech community that I run. It is only 37 bucks right now. Prices will go up in June. Hey, Mickey. And it's an awesome place. Not just because of me, but you can go see the sales page and see that it's definitely the place to be. You can learn everything about business and tech there and ask your questions. It's super awesome. So, Mickey, we are just jumping in and talking about the 4 things that you can do right now regarding the new GDPR rules. One is update your privacy policy. If you have one and it's not really that great, or you don't have one at all, I put in the links there a affiliate link to the one my lawyer created, which is a template that is one that you can use. This is just the information on her website that link will take you to. Basically just talking about the rules and how it goes into effect on the 25th. So there's that. So you'll want to make sure that whatever you have going, you get it done by the 25th. That's like the thing. The 25th, have it done by the 24th, because the 25th is when everything goes into effect. Now, the next thing that you'll want to do is, I'll run through these and then I'm going to show you my website. That way it will make it much easier. Thank you, Mickey. Yes, see link here if you need one. Perfect. So number one is update your privacy policy. If you don't have one, see the link in the comments. Two, you want to add a link to that within your sign up boxes. What I mean is, once you have a privacy policy in place on your website, you can easily link to that in your email marketing boxes. And I'll show you what it looks like here in a minute. So we're going to review all 4 of these steps, and then I'll show you visuals here in just a second. So if you're listening on the audio only, prepare to switch over to video here in a second. So 1, update your privacy policy. 2, add a link to that privacy policy within your sign-up boxes. Number 3, figure out who on your list is in the EU. That means that you need to go to wherever you're collecting your email addresses, for example, MailChimp, and go in there and do what's called a list segmentation. Now, you can do this one of 2 ways. You could either segment your list and just find those who are in the EU, and or you can just send it out to your entire list. Now, here's the deal. People need to opt in, and MailChimp specifically, that's the one I use. They actually have a whole email ready to go, so you literally just go to the templates, pick the email, and you're done. And they actually prompt you for all this info, so don't worry if you have MailChimp. What's cool about this is that you can send that email out and people can just do their little checking of the boxes and call it a day. Now, you're probably going to freak out because your email list, whether you got 1 person on there or 500 or 1,000 or 20,000, you are going to probably freak out because you might see that number go down. That's okay. What I mean by that is if that number goes down, that means that people aren't interested anymore, which is okay. That's not a bad thing. That means that they're not opening your emails anyway, so why have a false number, right? We're not about that. We want to have a low number that represents true engagement, right? We're all about the show up, deliver, and engage around here. So you're going to see that email list number go down, and that's not a bad thing. That it's basically what they call re-engagement with your list, and you're really cleaning things up because things have gotten so crazy, and we've just done all these things with our email list. So now is the time where it's like, okay, cool, let's just run with this. And if your 200 people drops down to 100, it's fine. If your 10 people drop down to 2, it's fine. Understand that you're doing the right thing and that it needs to be that way. So number 3 is that figure out who on your list is in the EU, and they need to opt in. If they do not answer you by the 24th, on the 24th, I would recommend, because it goes into effect on the 25th, on the 24th, I would say bye-bye, and you have to delete them. If you don't delete them, and the thing goes into effect on the 25th, then you're basically held liable because you're keeping somebody's information who hasn't updated. How many of you, even if you're watching the replay, how many of you have gotten a bunch of emails recently popping up in your inbox saying, privacy policy change, please opt in, change this, update your preferences? I know I have. I've had about, I think, 3 or 4. I'm not in the EU, but still, I've had those come through because some people want to just cover their bases and just email their whole list. FYI, I might be doing that too. For those who are on my email list, if you sign up now, I actually have the box ready to go and checked for you, or you get to check the box. But those who have been on my email list, I might go through and just email everyone and just have them re-opt in that way, just to have a fresh, clean start. I'm still working on that. But those who are in the EU, I already have emailed them, and thankfully I only had a few on there, and those who, I think I only had 1 who did not check the box, so I already deleted them, because I told them after 2 emails, I said, I'm going to be deleting you come the 20th, I think it was, because I've been on this for a little while. Mickey says, I have gotten a few privacy policy changes. I never read them. I know, right? It's one of those things. So, yes. So, number 3 is figure out who on your list is in the EU. Number 4, you want to delete anyone who does not respond by the 24th. Sure, I'm guessing you can do it by the 25th, but again, I'm not a lawyer, so I'm just putting it out there. Can't hold me liable for this. I'm just sharing the info, but I would say do it by the 24th. Don't do it on the 25th, because technically that's when the new law goes into place. So keep that in mind. Now, I'm going to flip my screen and I'm going to show you these options that I actually went through, and then afterwards I'll pop in a couple resources for you for those who want to research this more. Like I said before, I'm sure many of you have seen this blowing up in your news feed and everywhere, but I figured it's good for me to just break it down for you here on this episode. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Oops, I gotta get on the right one there. I do that all the time with you guys. It's so funny. Okay, so on my website, FYI, checkwithed.com is updated. Feel free to let me know any feedback later, but I made it so it's hopefully easier for you and super clean and super straight to the point, because I know you're busy and I don't want you wasting time trying to figure out what options to choose. So hopefully this helps for you, but I'm going to show you a few different pages throughout my websites here. So checkwithed.com is basically a landing page. There is only one spot currently where I ask you to sign up for my newsletter, which is right here. Notice that I currently don't have an actual box here. I just have a page, a button. Well, this button actually links to this page. So this is where I drive most of my traffic to, is this one page, my email sign-up page. Look at what I added. I added a link to my privacy policy. So that way if people wanted to read it, they could just click on this link and be taken there. Otherwise, they can fill out their info here. Then, over on my main site here, if you go down to the bottom, there's an email opt-in box. Notice what I put here, privacy policy. That way they can click that if they wanted to. Then, on my blog post, now yours are going to look different. Hey Debbie, welcome. It should be on this one. Hey, if you want, Debbie, I can bring you on in like less than 5 minutes. You tell me. I'm ready to go. I just need a Skype, or I can do Zoom if that's easier for you. See, you guys, I'm ready to go. For those who are using blog posts and having your email notifications in there, yours will look different, but I'm using a program called Simple Social Press, and what's cool about this is you can have this built in, and so it's not the sexiest thing, but I couldn't link this, so I had to just put privacy policy as in the footer. I'm being a little overprotective there, but that way people can say, oh, okay, and then they go down to the privacy policy. Something just that I personally am choosing to do, but again, you can see on the new updated checkwithed.com, you can see that I have it clearly linking to a page that goes to this main page. I have the privacy policy there, and then I have the privacy policy there. I still need to check my boxes here because on MailChimp I do have the GDPR option checked. I just don't know how it plays a part here, so I'll be honest with that. I need to go look at that. Debbie, yes, awesome. Oh, you guys, this is exciting. This is exciting. Okay, cool. Let me, you guys are in for a real treat. I am so excited about this. Okay, you guys don't even know. This is going to be blowing your mind right now. I am going to call Debbie. I'm going to get this Zoom going for us, and you guys are in for a real treat. Oh my goodness. Just wait. Just wait. You guys better get ready. Better get ready. Okay, Debbie, I'm going to send it Messenger. Give me 1 second. We are in for a treat. This is what I love about live, you guys, is that you just don't know what you're going to get. Debbie is all about email marketing. She's go-to for everything when it comes to web, best in the business, and hopefully we'll get Messenger going here. That's the hard part. Let me go to Facebook. Messenger.com, for those who have been using it, it's not working too well today, and yesterday there were some issues too, so FYI on that. So this is going to be totally worth your time, you guys. So you better stick around, better bring your friends over and share because we are about to get crazy. I'm so excited. This is like the long pause with, oh, there we go. Come on. Debbie, okay, perfect. It's like super slow even on Facebook. They're updating, you guys, I bet you they're updating their messaging platform because it's churning out different on Facebook too right now. Go ahead, send. Okay, Debbie, that's coming your way, so keep an eye out for that. I'm going to downsize that, and we're going to get this over here, and we're going to get this out of the way. Let's make that full blown. Oh, I'm so excited, you guys. So there'll be a little bit of a delay, FYI, for those tuning in, because we're going to be streaming via Zoom and on Facebook. This is what happens. See, we got the skills. We can make both things happen here. So once Debbie tunes in on Zoom, I'll screen share with you guys and switch it over. In the meantime, just to quickly recap a couple. Oh, perfect. Cool. Let's see. Hello, Debbie. You might have to unmute yourself, by the way. Let's see.
Hey.
There you are. Perfect. Okay. Let me go ahead and screen share. And you guys tell me if you can hear both of us. I might have to unplug my headphones in order to make this work. Debbie, I'm so excited. Oh, you guys, you don't even know how exciting this is.
You're talking about my topic here. I have to jump on.
This is like, okay, you guys have to tell me if you can hear Debbie, but I will tell you, because I might have to unplug my headphones, but I will tell you, this is like a moment in history right now to have Debbie on the show with me. Like, oh my gosh, like this is like the day. So I'm so stoked that you're here.
I'm happy to join in.
I am so excited. So let me go ahead and open up also my phone real quick just to see if I can hear you talking. Let me put this on the video, and then just because I don't want people to miss anything. So go ahead and talk, Debbie.
Okay, so I'm thrilled that Ed's talking about GDPR. And it ties into another topic. We were actually going to do a show a few weeks back, and I had some things come up, so I couldn't do it. But we were going to talk about email marketing and some of the things that go beyond what Ed had covered in a session he did with Kate. And remember her last GDPR brings up the topic of keeping your lists clean. And that's really important. I mean, complying with that is great. If you have people in the EU you can communicate with, you definitely want to make sure, as Ed said, your privacy policy is up to date, that you're getting an opt-in, a clear opt-in, just having them have a box checked, or, you know, the kind of roundabout ways some of us have used to get those names don't work for compliance with GDPR. So make sure you have a clear opt-in, and just communicate to them what you're using their data for. Another important thing with it is they have to opt in specifically to what you're doing. You can't get one opt-in and then send them 5 separate lists. So think about, you know, a lot of it is common sense. What would you like to receive in your inbox? And start behaving more toward accommodating the user, only sending them what they clearly want. And the other thing I'm really big on that I'm doing right now with my company, I manage email marketing full time, is re-engagement campaigns. What happens when your list goes cold? You have a bunch of unengaged users. ISPs, ESPs, email service providers, call that gray mail. If they've opted in, you've sent an email, they've engaged, and then they don't interact with your campaigns for 10 campaigns after that, that's called gray mail. It automatically gets funneled to spam. Every one of those hurts your list reputation. So, list reputation is something, if you're not familiar with it and you're not watching it, you want to get on it. You want to be checking your sender score, your reputation. There are great apps out there like Return Path that do that for you. Ed, do you use any of those, or are you using Return Path? Or
I have not yet.
use
No.
MailChimp, right?
Yeah, I have MailChimp. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, they do some of that for you.
Perfect.
And then Return Path also, I'm sorry, we've got a little bit of a delay. I hope I'm not talking over you.
No, you're good. You're good. Your info is good.
Okay. So there's also something called Bright Verify. There are list cleaning services where you can upload a CSV and it takes out all the bad addresses and returns the good ones. Really important for keeping that reputation score, sender score up. When you have a dead email address on your list, it's a hard bounce. You get enough of those and you'll be blocked, blacklisted by places like Spam Cop, some of the big spam filters out there that the ISPs use. You won't get through to entire domains. I've had companies that can't get through to anyone on AOL. They don't get through to any MSN. This is important stuff if you're doing email marketing to begin to pay attention to. And this GDPR regulation is a great time to start doing it.
Yeah, and do you know, is it best to just do right now the list segmentation for those in the EU, or are you trying to get people to do their whole list just to have it fresh?
I encourage people to periodically do the entire list. Okay. Run it through a cleaner, scrub it, get all the bad addresses off of it. Do a re-engagement campaign. Those unengaged recipients aren't doing you any good. All they're doing is hurting your sender score, hurting your reputation. Get rid of them. If you're uncomfortable removing them completely from your list, what you can do is, as Ed said, create a segment. Put them in that segment, and sometimes unengagement comes from list fatigue. So let them sit for a while. Don't send them anything. And then send a fresh email. If they respond, great, you've re-engaged them. You might try a few different approaches with them. You might try different language, A/B test things with them if you don't want to eliminate them completely. But if you do some testing, you do some re-engagement campaigns, and they still don't respond, time to take them off your list. Yeah. Get a nice, clean list.
Yeah, that's really good. And what I love about MailChimp is that they have, when I first log in, they actually have kind of a hit list for this new GDPR, and they kind of give you all these options right there on the main screen to just run with.
Yeah, they've been really good at providing information to their users. Sorry, I wasn't prepared for this, so I hope I'm not echoing. I'm going to try to plug in a headset. And
no, you're good.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear
you. So they've been great at providing marketing materials and information around it for their users. But not everyone is on a platform like that that's making that kind of information available. And I find a lot of people don't know about list cleaning services. They don't know about re-engagement. They've never heard of gray mail. They don't know what's going to get them blacklisted. And oftentimes you're on a blacklist and you're not even aware. So if you're seeing, a 20% inbox rate, even 40% inbox rate, something might be wrong. You might have been blacklisted, and you should explore that and clean your lists and try to fix the situation.
That's so interesting that you bring that up, because that is something that I haven't heard. I mean, besides us talking, but generally nobody really talks about that. I don't know if I have ever heard it from anybody else about the gray mail and about cleaning your list often and going through and being possibly blacklisted. It's what? Yeah.
Most people don't know this. We talk about it on the Email Geeks forum all the time, but we're preaching to the choir. We all know this stuff. We should probably write more and share more blog posts and more information about it. Even if you've got a small list, you can run every new address through a list cleaning service very inexpensively. It's something like, I think it's 0.006 cents per email address on some of these services. So, come on, you can keep your list clean inexpensively.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I'll have to look at your old blog posts, because I know you have some around email to see about sharing with you guys here on the business page, because that will definitely help for those who are really curious and really wanting to dive a little deeper into their email stuff.
I will write a new one just for your
oh, sweet,
your listeners, and I'll provide a link for that has all of these resources and information. And it's kind of beyond the email marketing 101, where you learn about creating your list and segmenting your list and how to write engaging content. This is the sort of the technical side of it that's really going to make the difference for your email marketing, because all the work you do on content isn't going to do you any good if you're not hitting the inbox.
Oh, did you guys hear that? All the work that you do, I'm going to see if I can try to type that. All the work that you do is doing nothing if it doesn't hit the inbox, I think.
If you're not hitting the inbox, that's right.
No.
And if you're ending up in the spam folder or filtered by the ISP or the ESP, what good is all that great marketing copy and the images you worked hard on, the nice layout of your email? It's not serving you well.
That is a beautiful quote. I love that. You guys see, that's what we talk about all the time, is that you have to really know a little bit about everything to make sure, because it's not just about the numbers. It's not just about how great the content is. It's also this other stuff that maybe is not your expertise, but at least knowing a little bit about it helps you stand out.
That's right.
Oh, this is awesome. This was so cool. I don't know if there's anything else. Do you have any other tips or things that you wanted to mention about email or?
No, that was really the crash course in the technical, managing the technical side of your email. So I so appreciate that you let me jump on. I was just dying to, talk about all this stuff. So thank you.
Of course. I am so glad you popped into the comments. See, you guys, this is what happens. You pop into the comments and we got something to roll with. And in 2 to 3 minutes, I can have you right on the show, no matter what. So this was such a treat. Thank you so much,
Likewise.
Debbie.
Thanks, Ed. Bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right, hang on, guys. Let me bring it back over here. Perfect. Oh, man. What? You guys are so lucky. I can't even tell you right now. Let me pop in my headphones. I'm like, as you guys can see, I'm like super shocked right now. We are so lucky to have had Debbie come on during the show, tell us about that, and the fact that she's going to go above and beyond and have a post for you guys around this. Like, this is truly a special moment, just FYI. You thought our 100th episode was big. 102 is even bigger. So that's what I want you guys to understand, is that it's a lot to take in. I get that. But it's just making those baby steps. So I'll run through those 4 steps that I mentioned. Again, not a lawyer, but just things that you can do in a kind of a bullet point list. And then you can tag your friends, share this out. I'll also cut this down to share out later. Some of you guys saw that. I think I posted in the Hey Ed community a shorter version of last night's show that just got to the point. So let me just do a quick recap here, real quick for you guys. So the top 4 things you can do right now regarding the new GDPR rules is 1, update your privacy policy. If you need a template, there's one in the comments, a link for you. That's an affiliate link from the lawyer that I use. So that policy is already ready for you, so you can just fill in the blanks. Number 2, add a link to your privacy policy in your sign-up forms. That's kind of helpful, kind of above and beyond, but it's really nice because then it's right there. Because having it in the footer is great, but it's also not always like the best because people need to see it present. Number 3, figure out who on your list is in the EU. But as we just heard and we're talking about, really just doing a re-engagement and kind of refreshing your whole list every so often is best. So utilize this time and kind of go through and just re-engage with everyone, and then that way you can kind of clean them up. Number 4, delete anyone who is not opting in, who's in the EU but is like not answering any of your emails. Delete them by the 25th, because the 25th is when everything goes into effect. And then I'm going to pop into the comments here two things just for those who want to know. One is from MailChimp. The other one is a podcast from Amy Porterfield that came out not too long ago for anybody who wants to listen to that. So those were two options there. I'll put both of those in the comments in case you're listening to this on audio. And then once we get some info from Debbie on a couple of those other things, I'll definitely post that here in the comments, but then I'll also make sure to post it just in the news feed as well. And then also in the Hey Ed community, because you guys will have that as well. So I'm just running back through. I just want to make sure in the comments I didn't miss anything. And boom. Awesome. That's it. That's what I got for you guys. How cool is that? So now you have a little time extra because you probably plan to be here till 5. Now you have a little extra time to kind of go through and click on those links and check things out. And if you need anything, let me know in the comments. By the way, if you're watching the replay, please be sure to say hello and tell us how your day's going. So I will leave you guys with this, and I hope that was helpful, and have a great afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you're at. Take care.